What is going on, guys, and welcome back once again. My name is Jordan, also known as Jmonster, and you're watching the first of 3 tournament battles that I'm going to be playing against Admiral Thrawn. I am playing as Gondor, he is playing at the High Elves. I have 2 units of Gondor Spearmen in my army, 2 units of infantry, and I believe I have 3 units of dismounted Swan Knights here. My intention with bringing them is to have some powerful heavy infantry units to hold my center against what is inevitably going to be a big heavy infantry storm on his part. I've also got 3 units of Lothernach Axemen, 3 units of Gondor Archers, and 2 units of Swan Knights, who are Gondor's super heavy tank cavalry. And my opponent is playing as the High Elves. He's got 3 units of Lindon Longspears, and I believe a massive 4 units of Elder Ringway Lancers. We are outnumbered in terms of cav. He's got 2 Elder Ringway Spearmen, 2 Swordsmen, the standard kind of lineup, 1 unit of Smiths, and 1 unit of Mithlon Nobles. I believe, I thought he had 2, but I guess, yeah, that's all he could really afford at the time. And he's got, yeah, this is the other 2 units of his cavalry here on his wing. Oh, look at that, lightning flashing in the background. Epic, epic start to this very tough battle. So he's rushing in here with his heavy infantry, wants to get them stuck in because they are superior to mine. He's bringing around his cav on either flank, supported by his spearmen, which is a really good move on his part. So it's going to be all I can do, really, to try and drive him back here, because that heavy cavalry is very, very deadly. So we're starting to open up here on this big blob of units here with our archers. Unfortunately, I left fire arrows on, so they're going to get a few flaming volleys off. We've got our Swan Knights coming in here hard against these Eldar Ringway Lancers. Very tough. I'm just kind of chumping this unit of Lothernach Axemen under the hooves of these Eldar archers, or of these Eldar Lancers right here, just trying to keep them out of the backs of my infantry and out of my archers as well. So he's bringing up his Lindon Longspears here. These guys are very powerful. Couple units coming in right now. Good against cav and good against armor. It's the perfect unit to counter my Swan Knights. Over on the other side, similar battle, although it's going much, much, much more in our favor. We've got a unit of Axemen in here supporting our Swan Knights, who are going to just decimate these Eldar cav. They're trying to pull out right now. He's got his units of Longspears coming in here. I'm going to try and stop them from being able to support these Lancers, but unfortunately we only managed to take a little bit of the unit with our Gondor Spearmen there. But he's got his cav here in amongst my archers, and he's going to deal a lot of damage to them. Victory is apparently certain for my troops, however, as they greatly outnumber the Eldar. We do have a unit of Axemen in there to support them. Take a look at the front line here. His Spearmen versus my Spearmen doesn't seem to be going too well for them right there. All along the infantry line here, where my Swan Knights are, it's more or less equal. But his swordsmen here are cutting up my Gondor infantry. It says victory is almost certain for them, but that's only because of the presence of the Swan Knights. Over on the other side here, it's much more even fight between our 2 units of Spearmen, but his Eldar Spearmen do have the advantage because they are very powerful, very elite units. Over here, we're seizing an opportunity here to try and thin out these Lindon Longspears, sorry. But he's going to use this opening here to just smash into my archer line, just run so many of them over, and they are helpless in the face of these Eldar cav. But his Lindon Longspears have taken horrendous casualties. Unfortunately, he did leave them here for a little bit. He was trying to micro his cav, and what's going to happen as a result of that is that many of them were gunned down by my archers. So these Elder Ringway Lancers over here down to 6 units, just a very paltry 6. I don't really see them as a threat at this point, so I'm going to start moving my Swan Knights around here. I believe my general is in that unit. No, that's my non-general unit. This is my general over here. But we're going to bring them around here and try and throw them into the backs of these very spread out Lindon Longspears. Hopefully get a nice charge off on them. All along the infantry line, things are starting to wind down to a close. His Eldar heavy infantry are giving it to my infantry. My Swan Knights are doing pretty well, except for in the center here where they're fighting these Smiths of Eredin. These guys are armor piercing, and they're very good at fighting Swan Knights. They are excellent at it. Looks like he's managed to break through here as well through my other unit of Swan Knights with his Mithlon Nobles, but they are heavily depleted. He's getting some nice rear charges here off on my Gondor Swan Knights. Over here, we've slaughtered his Spearmen. They are just done for. I believe there's also some Swordsmen in there as well. We have a very healthy unit of Gondor Spearmen here that we pulled off earlier in the battle to throw against his Lindon Longspears. So we're taking some nice pot shots here at the back of these Eldar cav. I think at this point Admiral Thrawn realizes that this particular battle is going to be mine. His Eldar cav here just sitting there taking damage in the rear from our archer fire. He's throwing in his the rest of his lancers here to support his swordsmen against this big blob of Swan Knights right here. 74 in the unit. Very tough. We're going to use the opportunity here to launch a hammer and anvil strike into the back of his Eldar Rinway spearmen. And we're also going to simultaneously attack this unit of Lindon long spears. But he sees what's going on, so he's going to go for these long spears. He's going to use his long spears to go for my heavy cav. And it's going to go pretty well for them, but my archers greatly outnumber them. These guys are tired. And there goes the enemy general. And that is going to be the end for these units here. They're going to start to waver. He's throwing in some reinforcements here. Potentially the battle could still be his, but unfortunately I'm bringing up Axemen of Lasarnak, so these units are just going to get wiped out in a close combat fight with these guys. We're still taking some shots at this very depleted unit of Eldar Cav here, managing to kill at least one of them in that last volley. But by and large, the Eldar army has been wiped out. It's 84 to 70. Very close battle. Only off by about 15%. Bringing in my Gondor Spearmen here to cover the backs of my Swan Knights while they're still fighting the rest of these Eldar Rinway swordsmen. And there's also a unit of Spearmen over here that just started to rout. But yeah, I'm just trying to cover the backs of my infantry here because he's been launching hammer and anvil strikes pretty much the entire battle. But largely, that's the end of the army here. You can start to see his Lindon long spears routing up the field. That's his last infantry unit. He's coming in for a last glorious charge. Look at this. But we've got our Swan Knights racing in to intercept. He is going to get this charge off. One of his units is going to go down. But he is going to be pinned there as the vengeful Swan Knights are coming in from behind him. And a unit of Gondor Spearmen in there to support the rest of our infantry. So that is the end of the battle right there. Very good game to my opponent. Admiral Thrawn is always a tough customer. Always gives me a good run for my money. But they haven't quite run away yet. Yeah, Eldar just don't run. They don't run from fights. I think that's his last unit. Yeah, we're just chasing down his long spears over there with the remnants of our heavy infantry. Pulling him out for another cycle charge. Swan Knight's getting in there, trying to cut off the line of retreat. Totally surrounded, and that's going to be the end for all of these Eldar cavalrymen. I don't think he has anything else in the field. Final count is going to be 74 to 91. I got about 25% of my army left. Not bad for fighting Eldar. Not too bad at all. We did have a lot of our units of Swan Knights here wiped out. But if it was anyone else, they wouldn't have lasted nearly as long. And that's what the Swan Knights were there to do. They were there to anchor my center. And there it is, guys. So good game to my opponent. And I will see you guys in the second battle. It's going to be a series of 3. Very tight. Very tight. All the way down to the end. Quick look at the casualties there. You guys can review that on your own time, and I will see you in the next battle.